last day of this program, FDP program, 5-day program. And today we have three sessions. The first session is by Kirti Madam, and the second session is a validity function and the quiz and feedback session. And the third session is again by the Sharad Sharma from the Kiran Robotics. So we'll start our session with the Kirti Madam first. So good morning to all. Ms. Kirti Pawar Bhati is an assistant professor in a School of Electronics, DAV Indore. She has more than 13 years of experience in teaching. Her area of interest are mobile computing, mobile system programming, wireless communication, and embedded systems. So I invite Kirti Madam to deliver her task. Madam, the session is over to you.
Thank you so much, sir. Good morning, everyone. This is Kirti Pawar Bhati. I would like to thank Dr. Vaibhav Nima and IET for having me here in this Atal FDP by AICT on the topic IoT. This is the last day of your FDP. From last 4 days, you are exposed to different tools and technologies and application of IoT from my guru, Dr. Raj Kamal, as well as other eminent speakers from academics and industries. Since you all know that IoT is, we can say, an ocean, and I'm going to discuss with you one drop of it, which is MQTT. So let's start our session for today. I'm sharing my PPT. Vaibhav sir?
Yes, ma'am.
You will be there, means if some technical glitches will be there, are you going to tell me about it?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, definitely.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. So are you able to see my PPT on the screen?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So should we start now?
Yes.
Yeah. So today we are going to discuss about the basic of IoT. You are already exposed to different tools and technologies in last 4 days. So I should not be talking much about the IoT. And then we'll, in short, going to talk about the MQTT. Then how MQTT is different from the other protocol, and why it is suitable for the low resource, means the small devices which are resource constrained, because you already know that the small things are having the memory constraint as well as the processing constraints are there. So for the small low end devices, how it is useful or how it is more viable in comparison to other protocols. And if no technical glitches will be there, we are going to have the live demo in which I'm going to talk about the three things. RPi we are going to use. Then I'm going to take the two examples for two different cloud service provider. So let's start. What is IoT? You are very much know about it, that it is basically the network of physical object. What we are using the IoT from a very long time, but now the different fancy terms has came into the picture. Machine to machine communication was already there, but now we are integrating the communication capability, processing capability into the devices which are very low end, which does not require very high end resources. Then also, yet things are communicating with each other. So the scope of IoT is not limited to just connecting things. Means you are just not connecting the things. The things are also having the power to communicate and to exchange the data. That is very important. Now, what are the different things which make the IoT possible today? In the past also, people have in mind that they want to have the small devices which can communicate with each other, but that was not possible in the past date. But now it is very much possible because of the technological development we are having. So three things which are making it possible to have the IoT system is sensing. You are having the sensors available to you for all possible physical parameter you can think about, you are having the sensors available for them and with very low cost. So now it is possible for you to have a device in a lesser price which can do the task for you. In past days, for the same functioning and the processing, you require the higher cost machines, but now your system is getting very low cost. Second thing, connectivity. Connectivity, you know that there was an era where 2G, 3G came into picture, then 4G, and now we are migrating to 5G also. As well as at the same time, we are moving toward the IP version 6 also, which is making it possible to connect more devices into this more devices integration. IP version 4 was supporting only fewer devices. To require 32-bit was possible, but now with IP version 6 you will be able to integrate more devices into your system or on the internet. Now now the thing, VLSI advancement as well as the communication advancements, it is possible for you to process the data which device which are very lesser in price. Then also you are able to have the processing which can be done by the high-end device in the past. Like I hope that you already have the session on Raspberry Pi. Raspberry Pi has the enormous capability which can be very much useful for the projects, especially the master's project. We can talk about your Raspberry Pi will be good enough to do the task for you. So processing, connecting, and sensing, all these things make it possible to have the IoT in this era. Now, I hope you are already exposed to these components. So let's take one at a time. First one is sensor or the device. Means through sensors are through sensors you are going to sense the parameters of your interest, in which temperatures. Abha madam has already talked about the different sensors you can use or you can interface with RPi for taking the parameter of your own choice. Then cloud is one of the integral component of IoT. These terms you have already heard about. Google Cloud Platform is there. Amazon Web Services are there. ThinkSpeak, Abha ma'am has already talked about. Oracle is there. IBM Watson is there. Now, third, actually, IoT is not limited to this four, I can say, terms which are given over there. There are few more things, means there are so many things involved with IoT. I am listing some of them for you to understand what exactly IoT means. Then next is software, in which you are having the integration software, cloud management software are there, and predictive analysis software are there, and artificial intelligence softwares are there. Now, cloud is for processing you are using. Sensor device, you are taking the environmental parameter or you are taking the inputs. Software for managing the different things. And the last thing, user interface. User interface is basically the interface through which you are going to communicate with your IoT system. Like you can use an app, Blink. I'm also going to give a live demo on IoT MQTT panel, which is also a user interface, because through which you can communicate with your IoT system or IoT device, means IoT system you have developed. Then web interfaces are also there. Web interfaces means you can have some HTML pages can be there through which you can communicate with your device. Then IR/RF remote can be there, and voice assistant can be there. I hope you heard about the Alexa, Siri, Google Assistant and all. If somebody is interested, then if you want to implement user interface with Alexa, Siri, Google Assistant, then you can write down the name of one technique or one software, I can say, IFTTT, that which stands for if this then that. That is the easiest way of programming with your voice assistant system. You can through that particular IFTTT, you can control your Raspberry Pi device by giving the voice commands. Like you can implement a simple example of putting on and putting off a LED. Now we are moving towards what we are supposed to discuss today, that is MQTT. So we are starting with few things about the communication protocol for IoT. So IoT communication protocol ensures optimal security to the data being exchanged between the connected device. This is one of the primary requirement for development of a rugged system, or a system which work according to your requirement. If we are talking about a home security system, and if the security will not be there, what will happen? Your complete system will be collapsed. If somebody else is going to access the lock of your home, then it is not advisable. So one important thing is the security, which should be taken into consideration while developing the IoT device or IoT system, for which the protocol should be such that it ensures the security of your communication between the connected devices. The IoT devices are typically connected to the internet via an IP network. I hope you know little about the connectivity. There are two kind of connectivity possible with IoT device. One can be IP network. Another one is the local connectivity. Local connectivity means you can have the personal area network, in which you can use Bluetooth, RFID, ZigBee, or NFC, whatever personal area network in the technologies available to you, you can use that. So there is always a trade-off between the uh, there is always a trade-off between the distance covered, or the communication distance possible for communication, as well as the resource requirement. If you are communicating in the personal area network, then definitely the memory requirement, power requirement, and communication capability will be lesser. Requirement of memory and power will be lesser. But if you want to communicate to a higher distance, then definitely your memory and the power requirement will be higher. So a non-IP network provide you the lesser distance connectivity, but non-IP network provide you the lesser distance connectivity. IP network provide you the higher distance connectivity, but at the same time it requires the higher power and memory. Now, so the IoT is basically the amalgamation of the two technologies. Means in any IoT network, you can use the IP network as well as the non-IP network. So today, when I'm going to have the live demo, in that particular live demo, I am going to use my Ethernet, through which I can connect with the WWW, and at the same time, I'm going to use my Wi-Fi network for having the local connectivity between my mobile phone, my laptop, and my Raspberry Pi, that we are going to discuss. Now, this is the TCP/IP model, and IoT protocols are given over here. In the bottom three layer, which are the network access and physical layers, it is having the different protocols. IEEE 802.15.4. PAN protocols will be there, then Wi-Fi, Ethernet, then IP protocols will be there, GSM, CDMA, LTE will be there. Now, at internet layer, you can have the IP version 6. You're also having IP version 4 are still used. It's not like that IP version 6 has completely means absolute the IP version 4. It is not there. IP version 4 is still there, but IP version 6 is coming into picture to accommodate more devices. So you can have the large connectivity with many number of devices, small devices also. Now, RPL is there, that is routing protocol for low power lossy network. At the transport, you are having UDP and TCP, and at the application layer, OSI top three layer are merged into a single application layer. Here comes the difference. In HTTPS is not used for non-IoT devices also. It is used for IoT protocols also, where security is one of the important concern. You already know that HTTP is not secure. HTTPS is the secure network. Now, there are specific protocol which are meant for IoT, which are XMPP, COAP, MQTT, and AMQP. I hope I don't need, otherwise I can give the full name of that. XMPP is Extensible Messaging and Presence Protocol. COAP is Constant Application Protocol. AMQP is the Advanced Messaging Queuing Protocol. And MQTT, Message Queuing Telemetry. protocol, a telemetry transport protocol. Now our main focus will be MQTT protocol only, that is message queuing telemetry transport. So let's start with this. MQTT is one of the most commonly used protocol in IoT project. It is lightweight messaging protocol that uses publish subscribe operations to exchange the data between client and server. I hope you heard the two names. One is server client computing, in which server send a request, client send a request to the server, and then server respond to the request of the client. In publish subscribe, the method is little bit different. We are going to discuss further. Diagrams are given over there, which is going to give the how the things are working. So here you can see in this diagram that MQTT broker is there. Here server, the name for the server which is going given for MQTT is broker. So it is basically the heart of MQTT protocol. It is going to perform everything, means all the client will be connected to this MQTT broker, and it can communicate, means whatever communication happens between the client can be through this broker only. This is not a very good example. Then also I hope you know about the star topology. In star topology, every communication will be forwarded by the middle node which is there. So let's discuss why MQTT. Definitely it is an IoT protocol, so it should have something which make it suitable for Internet of Things system. MQTT has unique feature which makes it ideal for machine to machine or Internet of Things world. Due to, first, it is lightweight, means actually the header of MQTT is very small in comparison to HTTP and other protocols. So it is easy to implement in software and fast in data transmission. It is based on messaging technique, means like store and forward concept is there, publish subscribe concept is there, then minimize data package, hence it requires the low network usage, low power usage, so it saves the connected device battery. It is real time, and real time means you should get your response within a stipulated time. So this is real time, and what make it very specific means make it not, I should not use perfect. Here I have written perfect, means which make it suitable for IoT applications. Now how MQTT works. Vaibhav sir, am I connected? I hope no technical issues are there.
Yes, ma'am. No. It's fine.
Okay. Now, how MQTT works? MQTT is based on client and server. The server is the entity which is responsible for handling. I should show the diagram first. This MQTT, here the server is known as broker. So this MQTT broker is the heart of our MQTT communication, in which there are different clients. Now client can play the two roles. Either it can be a publisher or it can be a subscriber. Like I can give you an example. In older days, what happens, if you have subscribed for temperature of means if you have subscribed for the cricket score, so what happened, you have subscribed for a service to your telephone service provider or your mobile SIM service provider, then you are going to get the score of any particular match whenever there is some updation. Here also the same thing happens. Whenever a client has subscribed to MQTT broker for a particular service, whenever for that particular service any updation will be there, then this MQTT broker is going to publish that information to the client. So here the client can have two roles. Either it can be a publisher or it can be a subscriber. Whatever client publish is published to MQTT broker, and whatever client want to subscribe, it is going to subscribe to MQTT broker. Means if the one client is publishing, that information will be transferred to MQTT broker, and whatever client or whichever client has already subscribed for that service to MQTT broker are going to get the information through publish only. Now, one important thing you need to consider over here is the topic. The thing which is written over here with the red ink is topic. So topic is basically the channel on which a subscriber can subscribe or a publisher can publish. It is similar to your, this is very trivial example. Then also topic is basically the frequency on which your publisher or subscriber is tuning. Like if you are tuning to 92.7, that you are going to get some radio channel. Here also topic is the basically the channel on which your subscriber can subscribe or your publisher can publish. So the 5, in the next slide we are going to discuss. Before that, let's have a look on client, what exactly client is. So both publishers and subscriber are MQTT clients. Publish and subscribe functionality can also be implemented in the same MQTT client. So it is not necessary that you means this thing is important for the study purpose only, that in our demo also we are going to make our Raspberry Pi as the server also, as the publisher also, as the subscriber also. So you can use same device for publisher as well as subscriber. That's for study purpose. Otherwise, you can have the different devices which can communicate with each other. Excuse me. Now, an MQTT client is any device from a microcontroller up to a, sorry, it can be a full-fledged server also, and it can be a simple sensor also, like publisher. A simple temperature sensor can also be considered as a client, but it should have the communication capability because it required to send the information. Now, MQTT client libraries are available for a huge variety of programming languages. For example, for Android, it is available for Android. For Arduino, it is having the support for C, C++, C Sharp, iOS, Java, JavaScript, and .NET. So today we are going to discuss the Python for our Raspberry Pi. Now, what is broker? So clients, we have discussed that client can have the two roles. Either it can be a publisher or it can be a subscriber. Broker is basically the server, which is the heart of any MQTT communication. So it is the counterpart of MQTT client, and it is called MQTT broker. The broker is at the heart of any publish subscribe protocol. Broker is responsible for receiving all messages, filtering the messages, determining who is subscribed to each message, and sending the message to these subscribed clients. The broker also holds the session of all persisted client, including subscription and missed messages. Means broker also having the record of all the clients which is connected to it. Another responsibility of broker is the authentication and authorization of the client. So these are the responsibility of broker. Before that, I want to discuss a scenario. Let me please excuse me for a moment. Paint is getting open, so then we are going to talk about it. Let's have the scenario in which we are having a broker with us. Now, there are different devices. We are saying this is publisher 1, this is publisher 2. Publisher means somebody or some device which can publish, which can generate something. And subscriber means a device which can receive something. So we are taking an example. These are 3 publisher and 3 subscriber. Now let's take an example, or we can have 2 publisher and 3 subscriber. Now see that this publisher is publishing some services like this is publishing on a topic or a channel called print. It can be a printer which is publishing its services to the broker. Now, whichever device want to use this print service can take the services from this print. So this P1, that is publisher, is providing the services on the topic or the channel print. We are having another service which is temperature. So this is basically a temperature sensor which is generating the temperature and giving this information to the broker on the channel or the topic which is temp. Now we are having 3 subscribers. Out of this 3 subscribers, 2 subscribers are subscribed to the print channel or the print topic, and one subscriber is subscribed to a channel or the topic temp. Now what will happen? This S1, S2, S3 has already given this information to the broker. Vaibhav sir, am I audible?
Yes, madam. Yes. Yes.
Okay, sorry. My other device got disconnected, so I thought maybe my...
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Yes, ma'am. Just a sec, I'm joining. Okay, fine. I request, if I got disconnected, please let me know. Or if some network issues or voice issues are there, then please let me know about it. Anybody can do that. So, again, coming to our... So, we are having 3 subscribers, 2 publisher. What happens? Subscriber has to subscribe at a particular topic with the channel name or with the topic name, and whenever there is some update on this publisher, what will happen? This subscriber are going to get the information. Let's take an example. This printer is switched on at a particular time T1. At a particular time T1, this printer is on. So this particular, I'm using the arrow for that. This information will be sent to the broker at time T1. Now what will happen? Since the topic over here is print, and at the same topic 2 subscribers have subscribed. So what will happen? As soon as the publisher is having some kind of update, that information will be transferred to the 2 subscribers which are subscribed on the same topic. Likewise, if there is some updation in the temperature channel or temperature topic, what will happen? Whichever subscriber has subscribed on this particular topic is going to get the information about it. So I hope the things are clear now, that we are having clients which can have the 2 roles. It can be either publisher or subscriber, or it can perform the role of both publisher and subscriber. And there is one important entity which is there, which is called broker. This is which performs the operation of a server in the MQTT protocol scenario. Up to this point, if somebody want to ask something, then they can ask on the chat window. They can ask me by unmuting themselves.
Any participants have any doubt?
If it is not there, should we continue?
Yes.
Just let me know that this non-full screen mode will work for you, or should I make it full screen? Because when I make PPT full screen, then I'm unable to see anything else on the screen. So will it work if I'm going to keep it full screen mode? Is it visible to you?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. It is visible.
So now since we have talked about how the things work with MQTT protocol, now we'll talk about the MQTT connection. Since we have already talked about the TCP/IP stack and MQTT work on the top 3 layers, that is basically the application layer of any IoT means protocol stack, but at the transport layer it required to have the TCP means at the 4th and the 3rd layer, that is transport and network layer, it required to have the TCP/IP stack. Since I also told about you the different other protocols which are meant for IoTT, one of which was COAP. COAP works on the UDP protocol stack, but for MQTT, you should have the TCP/IP protocol stack with you. So whatever application which supports TCP/IP can support the MQTT protocol also. Now, how the connection happens. So the MQTT connection is always between one client and a broker. Means client cannot directly, like the scenario we have discussed, this P1 is publishing on print, this subscriber is subscribed on print, but they cannot direct this communication. It is not at all possible. This communication won't be possible because whatever happens through the broker only. So publisher can publish on the broker and subscriber can subscribe on the broker. They cannot communicate directly. To initiate a connection, the client sends a connect message to the broker. So there is a message, means handshaking will be there. You already know request response will be there. So if a client want to connect with the broker, it required to send a request, connect through the connect message, and the broker responds with the connect. Connect is basically connection acknowledgement message and a status code. We are going to discuss what exactly the status code is. Now, once the connection is established, the broker keeps it open until the client sends a disconnect command or the connection break. There comes the difference. In HTTP, what happens whenever you are going to send a HTTP request, every time it establishes the connection. But in MQTT, it is not there. Once the connection is established, you can give the maximum timeout, after which the connection will be disconnected. Till that particular point, your connection will be there. So every time the connection overheads will not be there in MQTT, which is there in HTTP. Now, this is again an example which we have already discussed. Here, MQTT broker is there. Then there are one publisher, which is temperature sensor, and there are two subscriber, which is subscribed for the temperature value. So as soon as your temperature sensor is publishing the value of the temperature, this information will come to the MQTT broker, and whichever subscriber has subscribed for this temperature value is going to get the information. This red line is also the publisher. So this publisher is publishing to MQTT broker, and this particular red line here, MQTT broker is publishing to the subscriber. So terms will be similar. So this is basically this particular slide is basically the revision of everything we have discussed so far. So five MQTT components are there. Broker, which is the server that handles the data transmission between the clients. A topic or the channel, which is a place a device want to put or retrieve a message to and from. So this is basically a virtual path which is there on which subscriber can subscribe and publisher can publish. The message means the data which we are going to transfer, which is the data that a device receives when subscribing from a topic or sends when publishing. Now, publish, that is the process a device does to send its message to the broker. So publish means a process through which a device can send its information to the broker, and subscribe where a device does to retrieve a message from the broker. So whatever happens by the association of broker only. Another example, I don't think it is required. The main thing you need to understand is the virtual channel, which is also called the topic. Now, why not HTTP? Means why? I am not saying that you should not use the HTTP, but for the IoT or the low-end devices, MQTT can perform better if you you can have the better performance if you are using the MQTT. It's not like I'm telling you not to use the HTTP. There are some places where you need to have to go for the HTTP only, but wherever you can implement MQTT, you can have the better performance. So HTTP is slower because it uses bigger data packet to communicate with the server. Then the overhead for HTTP is also high, since it requires to have the connection for each and every request. As I have already discussed about MQTT, MQTT means establish a connection, and that connection will be in place until there is a timeout or until you are going to send a disconnect request. But in HTTP, what happens, for every request you need to establish a connection, which is which require higher time, and it is power consuming also. Now broker, we can skip this slide. Now we are coming to the live demo in which there are so many MQTT brokers, but Mosquitto is one of the well-known broker which we are going to use. So one of the most popular and commonly used broker is the Mosquitto broker. Mosquitto is an open source message broker that implements the MQTT protocol. Now I'm going from here. We are going to have a live demo in which I require the Raspberry Pi. So you have to excuse me for 2-3 minutes till I'm going to connect my Raspberry Pi with my device. Meanwhile, if somebody want to ask anything, they can ask me. I've also attended the session of Abha ma'am. She has discussed so many things about Raspberry Pi. Today I'm going. She was having the highest version, means the recent version of R5. I'm available with a Raspberry Pi, which is 3B plus model. So technical details will not discuss today. We are going to see that how I can use this Raspberry Pi for creating my local server. Means broker I'm going to implement on this Raspberry Pi. One more thing I want to say, that till now, if you have interface your Raspberry Pi, there are different ways to interface your Raspberry Pi. Either you can use your standalone monitor, keyboard, and something like that. Means you can have the full-fledged hardware which can be interface your Raspberry Pi, or there is another way to monitor the working